Johnny Depp thing, I was like, this sort of passed me by a little. It isn't necessarily interesting, but you were like, hang on a minute, it's going to be big names at this case.
Big names at this case, a lot of...
We've got actors.
Elon Musk.
You know, it's... Oh, Elon Musk is going to be...
Yes.
The amounts are... They would just settle it out of court because this
for a while it looked like... I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Thinks I know all their dirty tricks now behind. 2% of that joy is ours. Thank you,
That's
Rich.
your...
And in a snap poll, 55% of Conservative voters in 2019 now say that they think that Boris Johnson knowingly lied. 57% of people, in general, Brits, think that both of them should resign. And we're getting a lot of response from you this morning, a lot of personal, painful stories, which I think is where, obviously, the majority of the anger comes from. For example, Angel on Twitter, my mother died alone in hospital. Only 6 of us were allowed at her burial. No mass goodbyes. I couldn't even hug my brother, yet they partied.
Simon on Twitter says, my mother died alone in hospital on August the 20th. I was her only child and I would have loved at least 9 minutes. That's the time that Boris was at this party he's been fined for. I would have loved my 9 minutes with her. I was denied that, and the guilt I feel over that will not go away. How dare they behave like this?
You shouldn't feel guilty. He was
obeying
obeying the rules. You shouldn't, Simon, feel guilty about doing what you thought was the right thing. Paul via email. Unbelievable, lie after lie, he says. We had not been able to see a beloved brother for 16 days whilst in hospital with COVID. He died on the 16th day. His wife, 2 sons had to say goodbye to him over the phone. 16 allowed at the funeral, had to drive there ourselves without our partners for support. Disgraceful behaviour. All should resign.
I have to say, honestly, we could fill the programme with these, and I don't know, perhaps we should, but let's just get one more now. This is Linda on Twitter. She says, I had to get a cancer diagnosis on my own while they partied. I then had to go through a hysterectomy at 35 on my own with no visitors while they partied. I'm angry and I'm upset. It speaks for many, many, many of you.
Do keep letting us know what you think. We have Rachel Reeves, the Labour's Shadow Chancellor, on the show. Of course, lots of people out there this morning, you may be thinking, hang on, move on. You know, there's a war on, we've got cost of living crisis. All of those are also valid points, and lots of people are making those too, so let us know what you think. But first, here's Sean. Sit down, Sean.
Mr. Arnold! Yes, and Ricky Shenak. But we have had messages, I would say, not so much of support, but more acceptance. This one's typical. This is Susan on Twitter. She says, I lost my dad to COVID on the very day that they had this party. I had to say goodbye via video call. Boris resigning wouldn't make my loss any less painful, wouldn't change a thing, and politicians have lied and deceived us for years. Let's move on. Jackie, this is a very common one. No, they should stay. We need stability. This isn't the time for political disruption. What they did was stupid beyond belief, but we have to bite the bullet for now and maybe reassess in a year or so. And we're getting quite a few of those coming in. Acceptance, I would say, rather than full-blooded support.
Yeah, and there's just a couple of things to clarify. Again, sort of from what you're saying at home, and just to be clear on a couple of outstanding issues. So, for example, I just want to read these out. Mr. Fring on Twitter says, Johnson set the law. He was on TV almost every day at 5 p.m, reminding us what the law was. Johnson broke the law and then lied about it. Boris Johnson must resign. And I'm going to explain why I'm mentioning this in a minute. Yvonne on Twitter says something similar. She says, they should resign for repeatedly lying to Parliament. They have brought Parliament into disrepute. I just want to make clear that that is still... The lying bit has not been proven. The bit that they broke the law has been proven because the police have fined them. And Boris Johnson, in his apology, said, I have to say in all frankness at the time, it did not occur to me that this might have been a breach of the rules. I just want to be clear, in case it comes across wrongly, that the lying bit, that they knowingly lied to Parliament, that bit is still...
It's open to question.
You can have an opinion on it and you might think that you know, but it's not a fact. It's not a proven fact. There is a ministerial code which sets out that if any minister, including the... I was assured
that we hadn't broken the rules, and that's what I'm telling the House.
Yes, so just to be clear on our part, that what we can say is, of course, that they were fined for breaking the law. Whether Johnson lied to Parliament is still yet not proven, but your views are absolutely valid on what you think has happened there. We've still got plenty more to talk about. We've got the Transport Secretary, Grant Shapps, with us. Of course, there are other things going on, like the trouble chaos at airports if you're planning to get away.